Flippers up, the game is on. Let's chase that high score till the dawn. Pinball fun with Greg and Bart. A perfect place for where fun starts. Pinball fun with Greg and Bart. It's more than just a work of art. Pinball fun with Greg and Bart. Pinball fun with Greg and Bart.
Hey, there we are.
You know that. Hello, everybody. But that intro reminds me of Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. I mean, you know, you always think, who the hell thought up that jingle for Liberty Insurance Company? Liberty, Liberty,
Right.
Liberty.
Right?
Pinball fun with Greg and Bart, over and over and over. But that's a catchy little tune, so that's what they are.
Right. Right. Hey, so how you doing, Greg?
I am doing well, actually. We had some weather move into the area, and it seems like it's moved out. Cheryl's on her last week of having to wear her sling. She's been going to therapy and doing a lot better. The worst thing that happened today is Bella ate Betty's dinner at dinner time. Betty started eating her dinner, and she went down to pee. And when she came back, there was no food left, and I saw Bella smacking her lips walking across the room. And I said, "You little shit, you ate your sister's dinner." So I had to get her more dinner.
Well, if that's the worst thing that happened all day, you're doing all right.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Let's see. I drove clear across town to have lunch with some friends today, but the reason I accepted the invite is right next to a pond supply place. And I needed new filters for my pond.
Oh?
And I'm just gonna make a little joke. It's just a joke, but I went into the pond place and I said, I could use your help. My pond's starting to look like the reflection pond in DC. And he laughed. He started laughing. He said, I got something that'll fix that right now.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, should we run through the chat real quick? It's getting to where it's scrolling off the bottom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go right on ahead.
All right. Megan was here first, it looks like, and I'm guessing she went to each of our channels because it posted twice. So welcome, Megan. Crispy was next. Man, I got my camera blocking. I can't see what I have up on the screen. It's freaking me out. Welcome, Chris. Hey, look. Speaking of Crispy, I got my shirt on. Here, look. We'll get more views if I just block my face and put Crispy on. Got my Crispy shirt. Polo's here. Good to see you, Polo. Let's see. God dang. I thought I had this thing set up perfect. There's Megan again, actually saying hi. Crispy saying hi to everyone. Saboteur is here. Hello, Saboteur. Welcome to the show. Kelly's here.
Is our friend from the Netherlands here?
I didn't get down that far yet. If it is, I haven't got to it. Pierre's here though. He's from Canada. Does that help?
No, the only reason I wanted Gideon to be here is I went to lunch. A bunch of retired firemen. We eat lunch on Thursdays. I don't always go, but one of the fellas that I worked with for years started talking about a buddy of his in the Netherlands. And I said, yeah, I got a buddy that I talked to in the Netherlands. I didn't tell him it was like a YouTube thing. I just said, I know a guy in the Netherlands. And I said, it's the time difference is crazy. But what prompted the whole conversation is never guess who's in town. Never guess who's in Kansas City.
Who's that?
The Netherlands soccer team.
Oh, their team is there.
The Netherlands are here today. And a matter of fact, they showed them on the news and those guys were just like, we love the USA. It's great here. They were having fun. They were eating barbecue here in Kansas City.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that
maybe Gideon's there. Maybe that's why he's not at the show. Maybe he's at the game.
Maybe we can find him. I'll tell you what. I'm going to head over to Arrowhead Stadium. I had to drive through town by Arrowhead Stadium, and they already had the scout things, the boards up that warn people about wrecks ahead and stuff, and it said, between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock this afternoon, please avoid this area. It will be super crowded. So that, sometime that game's, I don't know if it's going on right now or not, but yeah, it's going on.
Nice.
6 miles from my house, the Netherlands are playing sometime.
Awesome. Kelly and I were just talking about Gideon earlier because we were watching a YouTube guy that does horror movie suggestions, and he mentioned one that's from the Netherlands. So I said, we got to watch that movie so we can tell Gideon we watched it. Holy cow, it's Mike's Gaming Gala is here Thursday. Time to watch two guys talk about their balls.
How about slapping their balls? Hey, slapping their balls.
Yeah. Which reminds me of probably one of the funniest things I ever saw. Okay, maybe not the funniest, but a hilarious thing. When I was in the VFW up in Arkansas, there was a old World War II vet, 99 years old. He's dead now. He died at, I think he was 101 when he died. But they'd do bingo on Friday night, and he'd come in and he'd wash all the bingo balls so it would not gum up the machine and stuff. And the girls would come in for do a little hot dog stand, and he'd always he'd look over and say, "Don't mind me, ladies, I'm just washing my balls." He'd say it every week, and we laughed every week. It was just hilarious. World Cup loves the U.S. That is true.
There's a VFW hall in Harrisonville, just south of me, that they do bingo in. And I'm getting to be an old bastard. Maybe I ought to go do that. I always say that's where all the old folks goes out there. I might go out and do that sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I tell you, I learned early when I was in the Navy still. We were looking for a place. We were going to do a big Halloween party, which we did. A Halloween party, and we wanted a venue, and it was a costume party, and we charged people $5, but we bought kegs of beer because it was a Navy party. And we rented the VFW hall, and we found out when we were seeing if we could rent it, they had 40-cent draft beer. So from that point on, once or twice a week, me and a buddy, we just stopped by there because active duty, you can go into the VFW, bar, and we'd get a couple beers, and I'd talk to some of those old timers, just let them tell me stories, which I thought was awesome. But I did learn something. You get some. Of course, like I said, most of those World War II guys are gone now. But I learned when I was back in around 1990, if you got some 80-year-old World War II vet that challenges you to that shuffleboard table, don't play for money. Because that fucker's going to take everything you got. Play for a beer because it's only 40 cents, and you're going to lose it. But
I'll tell you who I met at a VFW function one time, and I'm not a vet, but I was at a well, actually, it wasn't a VFW function. It was another thing, but it's actually an air show. And I met the crew from the, and I'm going to pronounce it right, I don't want to get in trouble. Enola Gay, the one that dropped the bomb.
The Hiroshima bomb, right?
Yeah, and they were there. Listen to that. I don't know how many were on that plane, but I know there were I remember 4 guys that were there. And this has been well over 20 years ago, and they were old then.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a heart-wrenching experience to meet those guys. And, they've been through a big part of history. It's just amazing. So.
Yeah, I would guess there was probably 6 or 8, at least 6, 8, maybe even 10 guys on that plane. But I don't know. With that mission, there might not have been as many people on board. But probably at least 6. Hey, Kaos is here. Yeah. One of the guys, he was actually the IT guy for the grocery store I worked at. He was an ex-Marine. I was ex-Navy, so he'd call to tell me something with the computer system at this grocery store. And we'd bullshit for the first 10 minutes just about random stuff. And then he'd be like, now the reason I called, and I'd be like, I've already done it. I knew as soon as he called, there would be an update. So while we were bullshitting, I'd download the update and install it. But he was telling me he's a Marine, right? And he went in, and when he was in the service, he was eating at a restaurant, and it got time to pay, and the waitress came up and said, "Your bill's been paid for." And he goes, "What?" And they said, "Those three gentlemen over there paid your bill." And he looked over, and it's three old guys, and they had like VFW hats and stuff. And he went over and he shook their hands and said, "Hey, thanks a lot." And found out they were like World War II vets and all that. And he said, as he walked over to the door, he looked back, and all three of the guys had stood up and they were saluting him. He said, I saluted them back and had to get out because I started to fucking cry. And here I am, a tough Marine. And I'm thinking, these guys were in World War II. They're the real deal. And they're saluting me. And he said, it just got me choked up. And I had to get out before anyone would see it. But I was like, that's a great story. I'll never tell anybody until I put it on the internet later. But I'm sure he doesn't watch our show. But
well, me being not being a veteran, I was on the fire department, started there. Actually, I did go fill out paperwork for the Air Force, and just when it was time, because my dad and uncle were in the Air Force, and when the time came to go, I hadn't committed yet. I just didn't go. I don't know. Now I kind of wish I had. But I did notice something, though, that I learned something new just recently. And that is, I was watching that fight on the White House lawn, right? They were bringing those fighters out. And I'm not usually into that stuff, but I thought this kind of history, I'll watch it. Well, I noticed when they had the military guys stand there, lined up as the wrestlers came through. And I thought, why are they saluting the wrestlers? Every time they went through, they're saluting the wrestler. Well, then I realized that we were being escorted out by a Medal of Honor recipient. Oh. And then somebody told me that it doesn't matter if you were a Medal of Honor recipient and you were a private. If a general sees you wearing that medal, you get a salute.
Wow. Yeah. I would imagine.
Am I right? Is that right? I
don't know. I never met one. So, but I would imagine, because that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, they said it didn't matter if you were a buck private. If a general saw you with that, Medal of Honors, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I know there was one in a wheelchair that was really old, and he was struggling, and they were helping him get along. And I thought it was kind of good form. Everybody has different opinions about it. I thought it was good form. The wrestler actually got down on his knee and gave the guy a hug and thanked him for his service. Pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. I used to get a kick of, besides Bill making his washing his balls joke, I just got a kick out of it because, what I did in the Navy was, it was important and all that stuff. And I was in a war zone. That's why I'm able to go. But I didn't see any combat. I didn't do anything like that. But I was in the war zone. And he was in the Battle of the Bulge. And it's like the biggest war ever, the most bloodiest. So many people died in that thing. And he was there. And I just got a kick out of when I came in to see a guy like that who would call me by name. And I'm like, this dude's a real deal war hero. And he knows who I am. So I thought that was cool. But anyway, that's just my VFW stories. But it all started with Mike's Gaming Gala saying about us talking about our balls. So,
yeah. Well, it goes to show you, if you come watch this show, it could go any place. I mean, gee, Christmas.
That's true. Should we talk about some pinball, though?
I think we probably should, Mr. Off-Grid. I think that would be appropriate at this time.
Yeah. So I did see some news, and I do want to say one. Of course, I got some of this from AI, so it could be wrong. I don't trust AI lately.
Yeah.
But I do know the first thing is on here, Jersey Jack Pinball, the Sonic the Hedgehog pinball table. They announced it officially. They got pictures up online. I don't have any here to show. But the premium one, whatever you call it, and the biggest special edition, whatever, $15,000.
I know. I for some reason I got a wild hair a while back, and I started looking at pinball machines again. Not that I got any place for them, but I just was curious, and I thought, oh my God, I'm glad I bought mine when I did.
Yeah, the cheapest one that they're calling the arcade version, $10,000.
Yeah.
And then the mid-grade one is like 12, something like that. But yeah, I saw it. It looks okay. I saw RTX talking about it. It looks a lot like the Sonic the Hedgehog table, or the Sonic the Hedgehog, the Pokemon table that just got announced. And both of them are very similar to Junkyard. You know how Junkyard, you got that angled thing at the top with the wrecking ball hanging there, and it's got drop targets on both sides of the. And then Junkyard, you try to get up there so you can get your multi-ball going. But it's got that same kind of layout. It's got the triangular thing up top with a ramp. So it's, someone was saying, oh, Sonic the Hedgehog, they kind of ripped off the Pokemon or vice versa. And someone else was like, and they both took it from Junkyard. So I don't know what you're talking about. Junkyard's been around for a long time. But here's the piece of news that really got my, I don't know if we have any viewers from South Carolina. But as of June 23rd, was that yesterday? No, Tuesday. It is now legal in the state of South Carolina for minors to play pinball.
It's legal?
It is legal. It has been illegal for minors to play pinball in South Carolina for 67 years. In 1959, they made it illegal for minors to play pinball, and they just lifted the ban. I'm sure they haven't enforced it probably since who knows when, but it was still on the books until Tuesday.
Chicago, Los Angeles. I don't know if New York was part of it. There were some big cities that I think most pinball people already know about that they were banned, period. As a matter of fact, there's a movie, The Man Who Saved Pinball. If you ought to watch that sometime.
That's
it's really good. It's about the guy that went before the Chicago Council, and he proved to them that it was a game of skill because he could, he had the councilman go up and play it, and they, play, and they got everybody got different scores, but he stayed on that thing till they finally just said, "Okay, just quit playing. We get it, And they,
he was calling the shots and all that stuff. So he's like, "Look, this is skill. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to launch the ball here, and then I'm going to do that." Yeah, an excellent movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. And I think you actually turned me on to that movie a couple years ago, Greg, and told me about it, and then I watched it. It's a great movie. And it's another thing on the 23rd. Apparently. Slash from Guns N' Roses was inducted into the Pinball Hall of Fame in the UK.
Really?
Yeah. Honored the rock icon's long-standing passion for the hobby and his direct design collaborations on legendary music-themed machines like Data East, Guns N' Roses, JJP's modern Guns N' Roses, not in this lifetime. So he was involved in the design of those tables, I guess. Interesting. So, yeah. But probably the most relevant news to all of us, Polo brought up in the Discord, and I agree, 15,000 is too much. Zachariah tables on Steam. Any of those packs that are not part of the Platinum pack, they're normally, you get 4 tables for $10. They're 70% off right now. So they're $3 for a pack. And I thought it was funny because I thought I was only missing 1 pack. And it turns out I was missing 2. But I said, yeah, I'm missing 1. I'm going to go buy it now. And then Derek posted in the meantime, and he said, oh, I'm missing 2. And he put a picture of the 2, and it was the same 2. So I was like, same, and same 2 that I was missing. So $3 for 4 tables. You can't beat that. So that's
you can't.
That's a
I'm
pretty
going to have to
deal.
look that up because I know there's got to be some I'm missing.
Yeah, I had the Dino pack, and that one I didn't buy because I was pissed off at Zachariah, which I can't remember the name of that pack. But if you look in the Discord, Derek posted a picture of both of them. Those are the
have
2
to
I
check
was
that out because I got to admit I haven't gotten on the Discord in a little while, so I need to do that. Check it out.
Yeah, and did you have something else news-wise you wanted to talk about, or do you want to go over the scores from last week?
No, I can't think of anything that I can't think of anything news-wise. I'm thinking I have a wish list of things I wish I could get, but you wish in one hand and you know what in the other, and you don't get nothing. But
right,
I'm still enjoying my micro, and I love the machines I built because they're kind of personal to me. I built them, but I did get last week, as you know, I did the phone from my show from my phone because my laptop shot craps. I was unable to get down to the office, so I bought another laptop, and it's got just enough power that it's able to work on the micro, and I can play the FX tables and the VPX tables and stuff on there. And now it just makes me wish I had a full-size HD table, but I'm not going to buy. Hey, there's a SpaceX, but I wish I'd have bought one because I just don't know if I want to spend that much for the HD table and then have to buy all these tables over again. So, you just can't find an HD table anymore.
Right. I had to put on my SpaceX hat because Jason's here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And anyone that doesn't know, that's my boy Jason from over in Florida. And it just started raining here, probably because Jason was coming. He probably brought it with digitally from Florida. Is
Jason's with SpaceX?
He is.
And then your daughter is with
Blue Origin.
Blue Origins. That to me is an interesting combination of events there.
Casey says, sorry I'm late. Can you start over, please? Casey, we haven't done anything. We've just been waiting for you to get here. Greg played ukulele for 22 minutes.
Yeah.
While we waited for you. Jason says, nice hat. Yeah, I got this hat from Jason. Big surprise. But I got to take it off because my head's already sweating. It is 90 degrees in here. It's down to 90. I'm doing great. Casey, we got all the tables listed down here, and this one that's right below me, I can't tell which hand I need to point. That's a paid Gottlieb table. But we didn't go over that. We didn't go over that stuff yet.
I'm having a problem. Of course, you and I are privy to this information before it comes out. And I used to play those on my phone, and I must have lost my login to it because it says I gotta, and I can't get. And I tried to play them on Steam. I know I played those machines on Steam, but they're not. They're saying I don't own them, so I don't know. I mean, well, we'll get into it later when we talk about it. I know where I can play them. I know where I can play it, but I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't play it on a PC. So,
right. Casey appreciates that we waited on it. Oh, and people are saying hi to each other. Casey says, "Did I beat Greg again?" Well, I guess we need to put the scores up, huh, Greg?
Yeah, go ahead.
Boom! There you go.
Oh man, what 5 points?
Yeah, it looks like it. 5 points. I got lucky. Jabba only played 2 tables, so that left an opening for me to sneak in. And Polo didn't play Dinosaur Dynasty 2. I don't think he has that or access to it, so that helped also. So Polo was only able to play 3 out of 4. So that helped us. It looks like it was kind of me, you, Kelly, and Casey and his daughter that played Dinosaur Dynasty.
Yeah,
I'm really getting a kick out of Casey's daughter has been playing pinball. He sent a picture to me the other day through Discord because she just come up and said she wanted to play some pinball, and I thought that is awesome. It's always good to see kids getting in there. Casey says, I'll take it if it's 1 point. He doesn't care. He was gunning for me. He was coming after me. But, Jabba kind of destroyed us on Theater Magic, which isn't a surprise. 10 million. Oh. I had 2 million, which I thought was a great game. And for me, it was. But at the time, Jabba hadn't played. And then I came out and I'm like, Polo and Crispy, look how close they were. And I'm like, geez, they might get me here. I thought I was going to be way ahead because on VR, Crispy's best score, I think at the time was 800,000 or 800 million. And I'm like, okay, I got way over that. Then I saw his score on this. I'm like, oh, geez, he got 1.7 billion. You had 386, and Casey had 64. Spooky Deluxe, Jabba again with 135, which is a great game. I had 127, so Jabba was in reach. I probably should have played again, see if I could get him. Polo had third again. Crispy had fourth. Casey, you, Greg, and then Kelly played that one. She rounded that one off. Dinosaur Dynasty 2, I ended up with 73. Casey was chasing me. He's coming after me. He got 60. Just beat out Kelly, who had 50, almost 51. Greg, you had 32.3, and Arlene had 21.2. Good job, Arlene. And then Kong, Godzilla versus Kong. I do not like that table. And you can see.
It shows. It shows.
I mean, I was almost catching Polo with my score there. But Polo had 176 million. That is a ridiculous score. Crispy with 20, almost 21. Pierre had 7.3. Then you had 6.1. Casey had 5.4, knocking me down to the bottom, leaving me at that bottom spot.
You know, yeah. I gotta address Dinosaur Dynasty. I think I could have pulled off a better score, but for some reason, I actually came down here and fired up the micro pinball and just got to play them one day and played everything but that game, and it's one of my favorite ones. And then I got upstairs and I looked at the scoreboard and I said, oh, darn, I didn't play it. I think if I'd have played that more, I might have been able to do better, because I think I only gave it like 2 or 3 stabs, like the night right after the show. No, it was the next day because my back was hurt. The next day I think I came down, only gave it 2 or 3 tries, and I can't do that well on, well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I get, my first score is my best score. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and sometimes my first ball of my first game is my best one, you know. Yeah, and Jason said on here, I feel like the Hutts wouldn't be that good at pinball, referring to Jabba, but those of us who know Jabba know, like I've said before, and it's still true. I'm not making it up. When I play VR pinball, if Jabba has played before I got to a new table, I aim for 10% of his score. If I can get 10% of his score, I feel like I did good. That's why I was so stoked with that Spooky. What was, he had 135, I had 127. That's, you know, if you round up for take the Jabba part out, and he has to lose half of his score because he's Jabba.
Right.
You know, but yeah. Let's see.
Try to figure out some kind of handicapping thing, but that'd be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Arlene said, thank you. Absolutely, Arlene. Awesome to see you there. Jason says he doesn't know if he'll be joining. Polo asked Jason if he's going to be joining. Jason doesn't join because he wouldn't buy the micro when it was $250 like I told him to, because he thinks now that he's a grown-up with kids, he doesn't have to listen to his dad anymore. He was wondering if I was just trying to get a commission, because I kept asking him, so you're going to buy one of these? It's a great deal. You should buy one of these.
It's still $299, which is not as good as $249, but still it's better than what the original price was, which was $500 and some dollars. Right.
Jason doesn't want to make me cry if he beats my scores. Yeah, that's why I don't play Jason and Robotron anymore. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Yeah, I'm always rooting for everybody. If people beat me, I am just happy for them. You know, I like to win, and I like to be near the top, and I think it's cool that I ended up at the top of the overall thing. But yeah, especially, you know what I'm rooting for? I'm rooting for Arlene every week. I want her to win. Mr. Poestyle is here. He went out to eat with the family. Would say that I'll watch the first half hour later, but I don't like to lie. That's okay. It was just Greg playing the ukulele while we waited for Casey to get here. We already established that. Derek says his scores this week were disappointing. Not to us, Derek. They were right where we liked them. So, Yeah,
I got a question. I got a question for Poe.
All right.
While you're there, where you can answer in the chat here real quick. I want to know what you call a cow with 3 legs. You know what you call it? It's lean beef. It's lean beef.
Lean beef.
Yeah. You know what you call a cow? Cow with no legs?
I think I got this one. Ground beef.
Ground beef. You know what you call a cow with 2 legs? Yo, mama.
That's great. That is awesome. That is awesome. Mike, did you like that one? Mike. Mike likes a good mama joke. That's funny. I think last night in Derek and Megan's show, I think Mike was putting mom jokes up there just to see if Megan would read them off, which she did. She's a trooper. She read the mom jokes off. But yeah, Casey's laughing at it. Polo's got purple crying face. That's perfect. I like that joke a lot. Yeah, Mike's mom, says Casey. Oh, yeah. So the next week's tables are down, listed below. We got a Gottlieb table. If you're playing on the At Games line of tables, whether it's the micro like all of us play, that is a pack that you can buy. I think that pack has 6 tables for $30. It's either 5 or 6. All Gottlieb's pack has 5 or 6. I think that's a 6-table pack.
It's pack 4.
Yeah, and it's a great pack. It's got a lot of good Gottlieb tables on there, and there's going to be free updates on those coming up starting next month. But it is a paid table, but you can also play it on Pinball Arcade. If you have Pinball Arcade on Steam and you're playing it on your PC or something, all of the Gottlieb tables that are on the At Games platform are on Pinball Arcade. Now, you probably have to buy it, but if you don't have an At Games product, you can play it on Pinball Arcade. So you got that going on. The next
can I ask Derek a question? Derek, is that some of those Gottlieb tables, are they on that thing that you put together? There was that pack that you put together of tables. I don't know. I won't say anything more unless Derek jumps in there and says something about it. But there was one other way I forgot, and I started looking at my PC screen up here. But I don't want to overload the computer. I would end up throwing Bart and me off the show here or something. But yeah, there was another way to play those. I'll have to research that.
Okay, and then the next one coming up over here is Twilight Zone, Pinball FX. I didn't double check that. Is that available on the mobile?
It's available on the mobile. I've made it my practice to go there first.
Right.
And then I pick from
That's
there.
How I pick them too. I pick from there. And it is Twilight Zone is also available in VR if you have VR.
And it's available on the Switch. It's available on the Switch. It's available on the Xbox. It's available on Steam. It's available on Epic. I mean,
everywhere. Yeah.
There's 100 places.
And it's also available on the old Pinball FX, which is Pinball Classic now. Pinball FX Classic, Pinball FX 3.
Right.
It's there too. Farfalla Deluxe, that is on the At Games products, right? And it's also a Zaccaria table. So you can play that on Zaccaria, or you can play it on your micro. And Wild West Rampage, of course, that one came free with Pinball FX for the last 2 or 3 versions, right? Let's see, the retro pinball build I showcased a little bit ago had some Zaccaria, some Pinball Arcade, some Pinball FX tables, as well as retro console pinball.
Can you put Derek? Yeah, I wanted to see. I saw Derek's and I couldn't figure out how to get it on the screen. But yeah, Derek did a retro pinball build, but apparently it does not have the Gottlieb tables on it because he says it's got FX.
But he said it has some Pinball Arcade. So there could be Gottlieb tables in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit. I'll tell you what. I put that on one of my PCs, and it's not powerful enough to run it. But I'll tell you what, that's a file-sized monster, Derek. That thing's huge.
Yeah. Something Derek doesn't hear often. Derek, you built a custom pinball machine? Derek did build a custom pinball machine. He built a 3-screen. He hasn't played it in a while. Pinball FX is a classic. I'm behind the times. Pinball FX3, they renamed it to Pinball FX Classic. And what did Pinball FX Go used to be? The mobile version. They changed the name of that too.
Oh, it was called. Crap, I can't remember. But you know, there's another one that's out there too that you have to be an Amazon Prime member.
Oh,
and
yeah. Then you can get it free, right?
Yeah, and it's I'm gonna see if I can find it here and bring up the name of it because
the only thing I don't like about Pinball Arcade is there's no cabinet mode. So you can't set up your cabinet to play it. You can play it on the, obviously you can put it on the play field and play it in vertical mode, but you can't put a back glass. So that's the only bummer I have for
well, it's too much of a glare. I was wrong. I've never won. You got to be a Netflix member.
Netflix. Yeah.
And it's called. Crap. Why did it have to quit on me? I'll bring it back up again and we'll see if we can get it to work. But it's because it is cool. You do get to play if you're a Netflix member. Let's see, where is it? It only flashes for a second what the name of it is. This Netflix first. It's got Netflix. It's in studios. Pinball Masters. So if you got a cell phone, you can check with Pinball Masters. And
and if you're a Netflix person, you can get it free, right?
Right, and I'll tell you what, it depends. It's kind of. Why is that doing that? Anyway, I don't know. Depends on what cell phone your company you're with. I'm with T-Mobile, and you get free Netflix with T-Mobile.
No, there you go.
If you look under those perks, you go to the T-Mobile app, and it says perks for being a T-Mobile member, and then there you go.
Yeah. Jason said he misses the pinball machine we had from like 1910. Probably exaggerating, but it was old school. You're talking about the one that was just called Pinball that I got from Jay Fagelman? That was the 1977 Pinball by Stern. I love that table. But Jason probably is talking about the 1987, I think it came, the Joker's table. Joker, which I have the back glass still on the wall right here. Which one do you mean, Jason? You mean the Joker's table? Because Jason could whoop my ass at that all the time. What are the nudge buttons on your phone for Zen Pinball Master? I don't know. I never nudge in that game. I think you just shake the phone. I always just bounce it off Kelly's forehead, but she gets mad when I'm playing that way. Not as old as Greg's mom, Jason, and she still ding-dings. Mike's Gaming Gala says, I call Greg's mom Dinosaur Dynasty.
There you go. That's a good one.
Hey, since we got a few people here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the what's coming up.
Yeah.
Coming soon online. Pinball fun with Greg and Bart t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it bigger because we just want to see the shirt. The writing doesn't really matter all that much. We got T-shirts, Pinball Fun with Greg and Bart. We got coffee mug. Let's see. The T-shirts are going to start at what, $12.50, and then they go up a little bit if you get the larger sizes. Coffee mugs are going to be $11.50, and then there's one with the smaller logo up in the corner. Same logo, but just smaller. Same price. A few different colors. I gotta add a couple colors to this one. This one, it's supposed to be navy blue, but it looks purple on the screen here. I don't know. I always get black because it makes me not look quite as fat. And then I got, let's see, my shirt, again, $12.50. And if you need the bigger size, I think 2X is $14.50 and 3X is $16.50. I got my truck stimming shirt, truck stimming for life. Got the stimming from Old Poe.
I like that one.
And then I got my coffee mug, which is the Pinball Fun coffee mug. It's two-sided, so lefty or righty, you can see our awesome faces on there. My coffee mug, I got the Off Grid Arcade logo on the one side, and on the other side, I have the Truck Stimming logo. So depending on which channel you're watching, you can switch back and forth. Yeah, and then I got a couple other products, but I really was showing this to show the Pinball Fun stuff. I am waiting for the first shirt to get here. I ordered some sample shirts, and they're supposed to be delivered next week. So I think I'm waiting for that to get here. Although it's the same company that Mike's Gaming Gala uses. And his shirt came in. It's an awesome shirt, great quality. So I was pretty stoked with it. The ones, T-Public makes these one, like this one, Famous Crispy. Crispy shirt is a T-Public shirt. The same as Mr. Poestyle used for ours, for the hanging out and for his channel. Retro Creep used T-Public. I got one of his shirts. Yeah, so, but I went with the one that Fourth Wall, and that's what Mike's Gaming Gala uses. And Mike, the Gaming Road Warrior, his shirts are on Fourth Wall also. I mentioned in the Discord, and Derek, like always, just Johnny on the spot. He started a Discord channel, or a channel on our Discord for merch. So if you're looking for any of the merch for the people I've just talked about, I think everybody I know of, I have their merch linked in there. Mike's Gaming Gala's merch, Mike the Gaming Road Warrior. Mine will be there, but it's not now. Pose is there. Crispy's is there. If you get someone's merch and just want to take a shirt, say, hey, look, I got your merch. Put it there. But yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
You know, I got a request for Derek. Derek's done a lot of good work getting that Discord running, and he's like the supreme technical man behind the scenes. But you know, I'd really like to see a place on the Discord that has a list of everybody's live streams and when they are. Well, I'm getting old and I can't remember, and then I'll go. I think last night was Megan and Derek's show, right? Last night on Wednesday.
It was, and Crispy goes on live Wednesday night also.
Yeah, so see, I completely, I wouldn't do anything last night. I completely forgot about it, and I said, "Damn, I missed that." So, yeah, if we can.
They got this new feature, Greg. If you go to their channel and click the little bell, it'll notify you when they go live.
It's not a bad idea. Let me think about that.
I used to not do any YouTube notifications because I would just check people's channels and see if they put something up, or it would come up on my recommended feed. But like you said, there are so many people now that do live shows. It's like, just give me a notification because, like you said, I'll forget. You know, and Derek and Megan were doing their show on Friday afternoons for a while, and they just switched to Wednesday night. So it's like, oh shoot, that's right, they're on now. I gotta get in the rhythm.
Well, you know,
Pierre,
every time I get a new app for my phone, it always asks, do you want this app to send you notifications? And I always click no, because I'm telling you, if I want to check my text message, I check them. I want to check my email, I check them. But I'll tell you what, that thing dings so many times during the day, and you don't know which one it's dinging you for. It doesn't say that. I wish it'd say, you have a text message, you have a this or that. And I'm sure there are some ways you can make it do that, but in general, you get the same ding, and it's like, shit, you'll be in the middle of something, ding, 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 ding. Sounds like you're playing a ding table. So
yeah, you're playing a ding ding machine. Polo's asking, will you guys be watching the Bro Show with Diamax Gamer and Crispy? Yes, Pierre and Chris are going to do a show. I think they're going to do once a month. The two of them are going to get together because they both have their own shows. Pierre is on Monday, Tuesday, and I think Friday now. Crispy's already on Wednesday and Friday. And then, so they're not looking to do extra shows every week. I think they're going to do once a month, but I absolutely plan on watching that show. But
I generally get a chance to watch them later, like you and Poe on Sunday night. I usually watch the replay of it. But I know some of these, if I just had a sheet in front of me, I'd say, oh, I'm not doing anything right now. Let me look at the sheet. Oh, there's somebody that's on right now. I'd like to be a part of the chat or whatever. So, Derek, I know what Bart said. I could make the ding ding, but you know what? I think you've already got it printed out somewhere. Just copy and paste it into the Discord somewhere.
Now, Mike says he needs to get a Discord to let people know when he posts, but he doesn't want to start a Discord. He's at an impasse. You could do what we did. We just said, hey, Derek, make us a Discord. And Derek made us a Discord. And he's great with that stuff. And, Derek says, I might know a guy. He's really good at that stuff. And like I said, I put that in the chat, and I knew it was kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It was like, man, it'd be nice if we could have a channel. And I think it was only like 5 or 10 minutes later, he started the channel, and he's like, ask and you shall receive. Let's see. Pierre says we are starting tomorrow, and then next week, and then after that, there'll be once a month. For now, they're doing it on Friday because Mrs. Crispy normally does the Friday show with Chris, and I think she's out of town or she's got something going on. So Pierre is going to be doing the show tomorrow and next Friday, and then there'll be once a month. Is it going to be like the first Friday of the month or the last Friday, or do you have a set time for that? Mike says, I don't really want a Discord, though. I'm happy with as few Discord groups as possible. I need to get rid of some. I joined so many Discords for stuff that I don't even play anymore. And I had to go through and turn off all the notifications because, man, I was getting just pinged all the time from Discord.
Now you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And, of course, I'm sure some people noticed we got hit with some spam stuff on the show's Discord, I think 2 weeks in a row. And before I could get in there and delete the stuff, Derek already was on it. So Derek takes care of it. Pierre says it's not decided yet. They're not sure exactly which week they're going to do or how they're going to do it. But that should be a fun show. Pierre and Chris are both great guys. So Pierre is taking place of Mrs. Be careful around Crispy. Yeah.
Don't drop the soap.
Yeah. So, all right. What else we got going on? Anything?
I don't know. Just sitting here with my tiny hands.
Dropped his hands. Chris likes it extra crispy. Yeah,
extra
so
crispy.
Go check it out. If you got Zaccaria Pinball, go check out those packs. They're on sale. Next week, I think it starts on the 3rd. What day is the 3rd? Let me pull up the calendar. The 3rd is Friday, so maybe it starts on the 2nd, because usually stuff like that, for whatever reason, starts on Thursdays. But next Thursday or Friday, and I'll remind people next Thursday on our show, At Games is doing their Owner's Day stuff, and I think it's going to be for 4 or 5 days. You never know what's going to be on sale there. Probably that pinball pack that has Rescue 911, because I'm going to buy it this week, so it'll be on sale next week.
Yeah.
The Nice Fellas Show. That's what Poe was saying to call it. The Nice Fellas Show. Poe said Mike the Gaming Road Warrior needs to get on there, and then they could call it the Nice Fellas Show. Because he is a nice guy. It's hard to give Mike a hard time about anything, the Gaming Road Warrior, because he's just such a nice guy. You feel bad for him. Poe, we don't care. You can blast Poe all day long, because he's an asshole anyway. But Mikey's too good a guy. So yeah, and you never know. Like I said, those Owners Days, sometimes it'll be 90% hardware and 10% software. I think they said the last one they featured a lot of 4K tables and not many HD tables. So I don't know. We'll find out next week what's going on sale in the At Games. Pierre is actually a mean girl, says Mike's Gaming Gala. And don't forget to buy all the stuff for Poe on his birthday, July 7th. Yeah, Poe's birthday is only a couple weeks away.
Well, you see that, help me out, Farfalla Deluxe is one of the games. So right after this show, I've got the laptop sitting here. I got to hit, I hope it didn't go dead. I'm going to hit publish, and I got a video. I was just playing with a new laptop. I wanted to see how well it would record while I played using, did you know Steam has a way of recording? You can record in Steam. I didn't know that until I was messing with this. But I did what you don't like, and I agree with you, Bart. I did what you don't like. I couldn't figure out how to open up my mic. I finally figured out afterwards. So it's just gameplay, and I'm like you. I don't like to just watch somebody play a game. I like to hear a little commentary. But right after the show is me playing my first shot at Farfalla. Is going to go live on YouTube right after the show, and there's no commentary. It's just me playing. And wait till you see. At number 1 ball was crazy, and then I just fell apart. So there you go.
Nice. I don't know if he's still here. Crispy just popped in. That's why I was showing his shirt again. He was one of the first people to post in the comments, and then he's been gone because he's apparently at his in-laws right now. So he's kind of just lurking. But I wore his shirt, and he's not even watching. See how he is? See how he is? But no, it's all good. It's all good. Sunday night, I'll be wearing Creeper shirt, because Creeper will pop in from time to time on the Hanging Out show with Poe. So
Creeper, that's
the retro creep. He used to be the Atari creep. He was the Atari creep for a long time. Now he's the retro creep. Really great guy. We had him on the show probably a month ago now. The weeks fly by.
I did catch that episode, yeah.
Yeah. And I told him after the show, I went in there, and Shelby was already gone when I got back in the house. But Kelly said when Kelly had it on the TV and Shelby was on her phone or whatever and kind of watching, kind of not. And she saw Creeper come on. She's like, "Oh, it's that guy." Because I watch Creep's live shows, and she'll be at the house while he's on. Right. So she kind of watches his stuff. And I told Creeper, she said that, and he's like, "That is so awesome." And he made a comment, and it wasn't all that dirty, but it's our group of guys. So he said something, and then he thought about it. He's like, "Oh wait, this is your daughter. She's not like young, right, or something?" And that's really inappropriate to say. I'm like, "Dude, she's 27. You're fine. We're old. We have old kids. She is our youngest, but she's 27. So
I got a fun story with that. I was with a guy I worked with, a fellow worker, and we were in his car, and we were going up to his house for some reason, but his daughter called him on the phone, and I didn't know he was on the phone with his daughter. He didn't have it on speaker or anything. And something happened, and I said I dropped an F-bomb a couple of times. And he looked at me and says, "Man, that's my daughter." You know, I said, "Oh, man, I'm sorry. You know, made all these apologies." Well, then we get up to his house, and his wife comes and greets us at the door. He introduces me to his wife, and then his daughter stand there. And then his wife proceeds to start going, "You need to," telling her husband, "You need to fix that mother of my that." I mean, every other word. And I looked at him and said, "Really, dude? Really?"
Yeah.
You know, your wife's talking like a sailor. And you got on me for saying that and hear it in the background. Oh my God.
Hey, Herb Wars is here. Good to see you. And
Yeah.
Mike's Gaming Gala says, it's a rough day for me. Crispy's not here while I'm wearing his shirt. And I also got to find out today that Kelly is a psychopath. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Mike's Gaming Gala's latest video. He does a review of, I almost said Sharknado. What is it called, Mike? Laser shark? Something like it. It's got sharks that are shooting laser. And Kelly makes the video. She is mentioned in the video. So, yeah. He does. I mean, he calls her a psychopath, but still. But I like how he thinks that I didn't already know that. I've been married to her for a long time.
This isn't related to pinball, but I did pre-order the Fox. What's the name? Star Fox for the Nintendo Switch 2. Only because I downloaded the free demo version, and I did like the inquiring about Greg's daughter on the show, and Bart daughter thought I was trying to pick her up. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you'd have a hard time picking up my daughter.
Yeah. Crispy's got the sound turned down, so we can talk all the shit we want about Crispy. Just don't type it, because he can see some of the chat, but he can't hear what's going on. His name in Pierre is my wife or mom or something. Yep, he's keeping up with it. And old Poe must have got a hold of Poe's phone. Taser guppies. Yeah. Wait, I'm leaving. Stay on for like 5 minutes because I want a summary, says Crispy. Yeah. We might still be here in 5 minutes, but.
Yeah, we're approaching that hour mark. We've been on the air, and we didn't start too late, did we? I don't think we started.
Yeah, about three or 4 minutes. Not bad.
We got to stick around at least 2 or 3 more minutes to get our hour in.
Right. Yeah, we're getting close. We're at 58 and a half. But I'm down to 88 degrees in here. It's like winter time. I need to go get a coat soon. Cheryl's
got to wear that sling, and it's hot. I can see that thing. That drive me nuts. It's got all this padding on it, and so she's hot all the time. And she got the air turned down. Of course, I'm down here in the basement office, which is right next to the furnace room. So all the 90% of the cold air is come blasting in this room. You can hang meat in this room.
Yeah. I like it though. And the stream in 4 minutes and 59 seconds, right before Crispy gets here. I like it cold. I don't do so good in heat. And Kelly and I swapped out the air conditioner in our bedroom today. We just, because our tiny house, so we don't need big air conditioner. And so I just get window unit air conditioners, and then I just cut a hole in the wall and mount it in the wall, which is fine until you got to replace one, because, unless the thing's a piece of shit and it breaks in the first year or something, you're probably not going to get the same model. And then the dimensions are different. And we had replaced the one in the living room and got a bigger one. And then our bedroom, brace yourself, guys, but our bedroom is only 8 by 8. It's a small bedroom. So we just have a small little one of those 5,000 BTU window units you could get at Walmart for like $100 a few years ago. Well, we had that in Arkansas, and we did 4 years in Colorado, and we've been here 6 years now. So that thing's about 10 years old, and it's the same unit I'm using in here, the same type. We bought 4 of them when our central air went out because it was middle of summer, as it always is. And so we quick bought some window units for the bedrooms so we could at least sleep until we could get the central. And then we took them with, and one of them's here and one was in our bedroom. Well, I decided that one is giving up the ghost. And I said, let's take the one that used to be in the living room that has more BTU anyway, so it'll cool the bedroom off quicker. Turned into a much bigger project than we were expecting, because it measured out like it should fit vertically in the same hole, but it's wider. So I cut the wall and all that stuff. I talked to my mom today, Easy Mike. I talked to my mom and I said, yeah, it's always great when you're taking the Sawzall to your house. But they got stupid braces underneath that make it to where it wouldn't fit like it looked like it would. So I had to cut all kinds of stuff. Crispy can hear us now. Crispy, I wore your shirt while you were gone. I'm advertising for you, and you're not even watching our show with sound.
Right. You talk about those air conditioners. I just want to say real quick, ours went out. I went and bought a couple of those. They're not window units. They're standalone units, but they just got a hose that you run outside. And to be honest with you, our air went out. I just couldn't take it. It was so hot. And we needed a whole new air conditioning unit. We've been in this house 21 years, and just shot craps. So it was going to be a while. So I bought them. At first I thought, just buy them and then take them back. But I couldn't really bring myself to do that. But I found out they're great. They also have a dehumidifier mode. So I put them downstairs in the sub-basement where it gets so humid down there that if you got something stored down there on a shelf, some of the water lines that are running start sweating. Dripping water on stuff. So I've got those set up running downstairs as dehumidifiers. It's unbelievable how much water they will spit out.
Yeah. Mike's gaming, and now that Crispy's here, he said Crispy's mom had a foursome with 2 dwarves, a German Shepherd, and a horse. Which reminded me, you ever see that comedian Jimmy Carr, that British dude? And he does a lot of really dirty jokes. We watched the clip yesterday, and he said he's got this thing he does. If he's like at an airport or at somewhere and someone comes up and says, man, I know you from somewhere. I can't place, where do I know you from? He says he has a go-to answer, and it's especially good if a guy's asking him and he's like with his family, because he'll just look over and he said, oh, I do a lot of midget porn. I'm the tall guy, but I'm sure you've just seen me fucking midgets. And then the dude will be like, no, it's not there. And he's like, no, that's the only thing you would see me in, so it must be that. And I'm thinking that is a great thing. If someone asks you where they know you from and they're with their wife or girlfriend, tell them that. Mike was the horse. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Casey's always talking about you playing with your micro, so I don't know if that's qualifies for being a horse.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, this is officially Jump the Shark now, because it's gone beyond mom jokes to bestiality. So maybe it's time to wrap up before we end up on some FBI list.
Yeah, we end up like, where are we at? I don't know. Let's just keep going and see how low we can go. Yeah.
Oh, Jason says, do you remember during the 2008-2009 ice storm when you ripped the wall heater out of the wall and spliced an extension cord to it to run it off the generator? I did do that. There was a in-wall heater in the bathroom, and the power was out for like 10 days. And I took that thing out of the wall because we didn't have any space heaters. I took that unit out of the wall and then I spliced an extension cord into the power line so I could plug it into the generator and have at least a little bit of heat. Yeah, that is true. Jason was in high school then.
It's funny the stuff you come up with and do when you're super cold or super hot.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Well, all I got to say is we've had some great turnout in the tournaments. I think there's success. I think we're having fun with it. I really like the I-score thing. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but it seems to be a lot of fun, and it's real easy. I admit it's easy for Bart and I to manage. So,
yeah,
keep track of stuff. We need to maybe, I don't know, you and I'll talk. We need to maybe build onto it, maybe get something going that's a little bigger like we used to do.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you about it in the green room too, but I got some ideas about some stuff and keep things interesting. But yeah, I'm loving the participation. I like I said, I'm getting a kick out of Casey's family getting into these tournaments.
Yes.
I'm a little worried about Poe's boy because he got on to Pose and he was playing some Ninja Turtles. Don't blame him there. But the boy wasn't interested in playing Spooky Deluxe. I'm like, the table art alone should be enough to get a young man to want to play that table.
Yeah.
So, but he is Air Force, so you never know. I scored, says Derek. Yeah. Poe's boy went Air Force. My boy went Navy. Jason was Navy. So he knows, but he was crawling around in submarines. I was tracking submarines. Jason went in the submarines. So
I came from an Air Force family. My dad was Air Force. My uncle was Air Force. I think my grandfather was Air Force. So, I mean, they were big Air Force people. So
yeah,
off the Air Force guys. But then one of our boys was Army, and one of them was Navy, and one of them is still in the Coast Guard. So he's still in the service, so to speak.
Right.
Matter of fact, he went over to Bahrain in the Coast Guard. That was kind of wild.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's crazy. I don't know where Jason ever went because he was on a nuclear submarine. He was on one of the boomers. So they don't really publicize where they go.
Yeah.
They'd be like, people ask, so where's Jason at right now? Underwater. Like, where at? In the ocean. That's about all you're gonna know.
There was some stuff when Mike was in the Coast Guard over there. That there was some stuff that I forget the word for it, but they redacted or something. But there was some stuff that, he said. I asked him a couple questions. He said, "I can't speak of that right now." So
yeah, and it's funny. A lot of people don't know. I think everybody's familiar with the term "the need to know," but that is a part of. You can't just say, "Well, I have a top secret clearance, so I'm allowed to hear it." Not if you don't need to know it. You still, and I tell people, I track submarines for a living. When I was required a top secret clearance. Jason was in submarines. He had a top secret clearance. I think it was top secret, right, Jason? But we can't talk about what we did in any specifics. The stuff he knows about the submarine he worked on, he can't just tell me that. And I can't tell him the stuff I knew, which I forgot 90% of it now. But they went to Guam for no reason other than to prove they could.
But you're right. If you got clearance, that doesn't mean, that's one thing that I will say that I had, even though I wasn't in the military, when I had that fire marshal's job in Kansas City, every time the president would come to town, Air Force wanted land, myself or my assistant, they had it between two of us because one of us might be off, had to be there. And inspect the hangar before wherever he was landing and going to get off at, and we had to get. They wanted our social security numbers, our fingerprints, and everything, and we were told. I can talk about it now, but beforehand, we're going to tell you when and where he's landing. And I'll never forget one time we're standing there, and they said Air Force One will be approaching from the south, and everybody's looking to the south. Well, I knew. I just looked over my shoulder and I said, I couldn't say anything, but next thing you know, everybody looked and said, "What's on the ground?" It came in, come in from the other way.
Right. Yeah, I had a boy up in Arkansas. He played football with Jason, and he worked at the grocery store. And one day he was just, "You track submarines? You went after Russian submarines?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I was telling him, I knew a lot about the Russian Navy back then. It's ridiculous how much stuff. And he was like, "Just tell me something. Just give me one thing. Just tell me something that's classified. That's about. I just want to know a top secret." So I made something up and made it sound convincing, and he was just grinning ear to ear. It's like, I mean, how's he going to confirm it? It's like, I just pulled numbers out of my ass. It's like, yeah, nobody knows this, but the Alpha class submarine has a 15-bladed screw. Really? Sure. It's like, but yeah. Now, I did know an old guy in Arkansas. He was in submarines also, back in World War II days, and the submarine he was on had twin screws, so he had propeller on each of his butt cheeks tattooed. Yeah, let's see. And I do got to correct Mike's Gaming Gala. He said up here, Jason was on Boomers. Yeah, he was on the Boomer. Jason was on one of the Boomers, so you're into moms too. Nice. Jason's young enough that if he's with a Boomer, that's grandma stuff. That's not mom stuff. That's grandma stuff. A Boomer for them. Yep, Poe had top secret clearance also. His dad is still convinced that he saw aliens. All of the aliens. Probably did.
I'm not even allowed to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, Jason said he worked on a nuclear plant and only had a secret clearance. You definitely saw aliens, Poe. Yeah. Poe worked on the missiles. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I tell people that I could get painted with a radar on our plane, and I would look at the difference from when the individual pulses in that radar beam, how long they were on versus how long they were off. And I could tell you what ship that was, all the missile systems on the ship and all the ranges of those missiles, and just from looking at 2 or 3 numbers on a screen. It was absolutely ridiculous. Mike says, "Gilfs need loving too." That's true. Poe, did you prod them? That's what aliens do. Did you probe the aliens? That's why he has. That was the top secret part. It's the probing the aliens. Derek says, "Hey, Greg, Discord channel created for your request. Greg, text goes here." Nice.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna have to get. I'm running
Me
behind
too.
getting up to where I gotta get, and so
Yeah.
I just
All
want
right.
to thank everybody. I want to thank our loyal people for showing up and participating, having a good time, and listen to us talk a little bit about pinball and a lot about nonsense. But hey, what the heck?
Right.
Fun
Right. Get in on these tables down here if you have availability. If you have a micro, there's a couple there you can play. There's a couple you can play on the mobile. If you don't have those, the Farfalla Deluxe is also available on Zaccaria on Steam if you have that. 911, that is a Gottlieb table. You can play that on At Games. You can play that on Pinball Arcade on Steam. I think it's paid on both places, so it's not just a free table, but it's all good stuff. Get in on that. Mike had a great show last Saturday. He did his big monster thing. He was on for 12 hours, I think. I had to go to bed, so I didn't see the ending. He ate the spicy hot chip. Burps were deadly after that chip. But he took it well. He did a great job with that chip. Casey was disappointed because Mike handled that chip so well. Poe and I took the week off last week. Poe was picking his boy up at the airport and had plans for that night, and it was Father's Day, so we took the weekend off. We will be back Sunday. So we will see you guys Sunday night hanging out with Poe and Off Grid. So Switch has Gottlieb too, says Crispy. There you go. There you go. Gottlieb, Rescue 911. If you don't have the pack on the At Games that has this, it's a great pack. Greg did videos on that pack. It's a great pack. There's 4 or 5 really good tables in that, and even the ones that aren't really good are still fun tables. So, all right. Yeah, it was really good watching. Yeah, go to Mike's Gaming Gala, watch the replay. I think he's got a timestamp for the chip, and I think at the end he played a Steam game that was rather frustrating. So that was fun to watch. So check it out. All right, that's all I got. Are we ready to go?
That's all I got, man. I'm just thanking everybody for showing up and putting up with us. Good times. Good times.
All right, there we go. I'm going to click on that outro. See y'all next week.
Take care.
Lights fade out. Ooh, 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 ah. Final ball, that digital drain. Lost inside the neon rain. High score flashes in my veins. Level up my brain.